Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 365 based on novel. So let's start. The entire void of the Devil's Lair is completely wrapped in dark green evil mist, covering the sight of countless people, like a real devil's purgatory, but the sacred light of the pentagram at the top of the sky is converging, and the holy sword of judgment blessed by angel wings, with a downward attitude, slowly clearing these evil mists. Once the evil mists are all expelled, I am afraid it will be the end of the other guys. Wait. Evil ding. Gone. At this moment, Xiao Yan sneaked up to the canopy of the evil tree, ready to take the evil cauldron and the two devil fruits inside it to fly away, but exclaimed, "It's too late." There. At this time, with the help of Ma and Meckel's battle, the dark underworld followed Xiao Yang. Hearing Xiao Yang's opening, his black eyes stared at a hole at the bottom of the nest. Originally, this space had been completely locked and blocked by Meckel, but after Ma finally gave up, a faint exit appeared in an inconspicuous area in the lair. Damn it! Xiao Yang looked up, but saw Gamma and Soul Flame and Soul Wuji directly sinking into the void, and even on Gamma's ugly palm, two agate red demons the fruit stood up slowly, and suddenly the light door of the passage was closed, and the nest was completely formed into a closed space. At this moment, Gamma disregarded the other sinners and left here with two devil fruits, and the two Soul Palace Hall Masters chased after them. As for the two devil fruits, one of them quietly entered the reel of maturity. Where is this? Is this hell? In the sky, Meckel's desperate battle with Ma continued with an overwhelming advantage, but victory was only a matter of time. At this time, a clean drizzle of rain fell under the lair, and immediately on the mountain of those who were left to be controlled, as many as tens of thousands of human beings were as small as ants, and they slowly woke up. Among these human beings, there were many noble and powerful people of the royal family. Since getting the antidote, Ji Xian also followed Ma's evil rain practice, based on his wood attributes, and spread the antidote instantly, and it was effective in a moment. At this moment, these human beings who have just woken up have weak limbs and extremely weak aura in their bodies, but looking at Meckel, who is in charge of the holy sword like her in the sky, and the evil dark green mist in this space, a fearful wave swept through the body. This beast. At this moment, Xiao Yang couldn't help but scolded secretly, because at this time Meckel didn't know that the two devil fruits had disappeared, and was still slowly consuming Ma's last strength, and looking at her attitude, it was obvious that she would not let go of everyone present. Brother Xiao Yang, what should we do now? After the comatose humans were rescued, Ji Xian also came to Xiao Yang and asked, but there were several gorgeously dressed men and old men behind him. I know it's not an ordinary person. The purpose of the patrolling angel is obviously not just to obliterate the devil. Now that the devil fruit is lost, I am afraid she will become angry. Everyone here, including you and me, will be completely here. Xiao Yang's pupils shrank tightly, unprecedentedly solemn. Brother Xiao Yang, I also know the seriousness of the matter, but among these comatose humans, there are many important officials who support Princess Lin Yunshu, and I hope my brother can help me, even if it is to take my life. Ji as Shen said, he knelt down heavily on his knees, and a trace of blood and relief appeared in his pupils. When he mentioned Lin Yunshu, his expression softened. Is it worth it? Xiao Yang was shocked when he heard the words, and asked him softly, but his expression flickered with a hint of hesitation. Is it worth? Is it worth it? As if being asked by Xiao Yang's soul now, as if the only salvation for the demon from the abyss of was his last life-saving straw, which kept echoing in his mind for a long time. It's worth it. A firm voice represented Ji Xian's rock-solid choice, and his expression flashed with a rare dim light. Don't be afraid of life and death, but also add a chance for Iran to win, even if that would make you sink into without redemption. So what? It's a big deal to lose his own life, but when he thought that the princess who was like a little princess in the past was now in a twilight for the election, Ji Xian's fist couldn't help clenching tightly. Princess, who are you? Looking at Ji Xian's demeanor in front of him, Xiao Yang seemed to know something and asked. Well, it's my crush. Ji Xian did not escape this time, and faced Xiao Yang directly. It's a man, just tell me directly. It's someone I like. What? I can't hear you louder. It's my wife. In this infinitely close death, the two chatted and laughed. You take care of these guys and leave the rest to me. But remember, we only have one chance. And you have to come back alive for me. I'm still waiting to drink your wedding wine. Xiao Yang said casually. After that, he took the dark underworld warrior and took a mountain-like pace towards the aloof Meckel. Go. This time, it may be 9 deaths and 1 life, but as long as there is a chance of life, Xiao Yang will not give up. Thank you. At this moment, a touch of warmth flowed in Ji Shen's heart, and he often heard Qin Xin say that there is a fellow senior brother who deserves her admiration, and he must be the one in front of him. The greater the strength, the greater the responsibility. Step by step toward the angel, Xiao Yang said with a wry smile. Originally, he was only here to help the princess, but unexpectedly, he discovered such a huge conspiracy. This conspiracy, I am afraid, will risk his own life. Boom. Ma gave up his whole body's cultivation and deliberately turned it into a pool of blood, just to buy time for Gamma to escape, but also to take out the remaining 2 devil fruits because he knows that he is not a half-demon now, and there is no chance of winning against the wandering angel. Ended. Holy Inquisition, forbidden soul. As the dark green blood mist around his body became thinner and thinner, Mekl made a light voice, like a death sentence pronounced by the ***** of death. Boom. The high-pitched holy voice descended, as if the ancient servants were praising the great leader. At that time, countless white feathers around the holy sword trembled wildly, and the holy Mang prospered, directly facing the lair, the last of Ma's remains. The dark green blood group ruled and left. I hope that 2 devil fruits can give birth to real demons. It's not in vain for me to work so hard. If you want to obliterate me without paying some price, how can you do it? Blast me. At this moment, the dark green blood mass of only a few meters forced by Shengmang shrank violently like a heart, and then swelled suddenly. Finally, a harsh sound exploded directly in the nest. Come. Ma's self-exploding power in the semidemon level state, and the holy sword of the holy judgment of the wandering angel, it is still unknown who wins and who loses. Boom. In the sky, the real death battle like 2 ancient gods of war has reached its final white-hot stage. The holy sword squirmed, and the countless white feathers around it were like sharp weapons like mountain peaks. The ear-piercing tremors shook the entire space, and at the same time it stung the hearts of everyone at the bottom of the nest. Boom. The mighty self-exploding fell energy, like a ripple of death energy, flew directly towards the holy sword. For a time, in the self-exploding energy of dark green fell energy, there was death, fear, and madness. To the extreme morbid, countless strange demon powers fill the entire space. This is the power and emotion that a demon should have. The brilliance of the firefly is also worthy of winning glory with Hao Yue. Seeing that Ma relied on the power of the last blood and water, and based on his demon attributes, he completely abandoned himself and exploded, trying to destroy and kill himself with this attack. There was a hint of contempt. Crash. With a sound, the self-explosion produced an energy ball like a dark green evil cloud. When it touched the holy sword, it was easily torn by it, and the dark green energy quickly disappeared like a moth to a flame. One blow, just one blow, the self-exploding power of Ma under the half-demon, completely fell under the angel's holy sword of judgment. Next, it's time to harvest. After removing Ma, countless powers were swayed by his Merkel at will, and Ma's power and breath disappeared without a trace, completely perishing here. Immediately, the void here regained its brightness, and it was illuminated by the scorching bright holy light, and the entire nest was also filled with a touch of sacred aura. Where's Xieding? Where is the devil fruit? At this moment, Mekel's beautiful eyes looked at the canopy of the evil tree, but the holy eyes were touched by the slightest, and an extreme anger surged like a volcanic eruption, appearing here in a lair. Regarding this demonic experiment, the traveling angel Mekel has been tracking it for hundreds of years. This time, he is ready to go. One is to capture Ma, and the other is to collect devil fruits and bring them back to the Holy See, but there are 2 devil fruits in front of you, it just disappeared for no reason. No. It's the devil who did it. With a casual glance, he also found a small, inconspicuous space at the bottom of the lair. In conjunction with just now, Ma directly sacrificed his body and turned into blood, and even ended his own death by self-destruction. Life, all this is probably to buy time for its subordinates to escape, and the devil fruit is naturally taken out by its subordinates. You, help Yuan fall under the brilliance of God together. The beautiful eyes showed a faint passage, and seemed to perceive the line of Gamma's escape. With endless radiance. She wants to destroy this place. Several powerful criminals looked pale and lost their voices. A dignified angel, the self-proclaimed messenger of God who maintains the order of the world, when will he kill innocent people so indiscriminately? At this moment, the bodies of Xiao Yang and the Dark Lord poured into Mekel's sight. I don't need any intervention from you in my actions. This is the lair of demon experiments. You people have been contaminated by demons, and your souls have already become rotten. I'm doing this to redeem you. You should thank me with all your gratitude, instead of bargaining with me here like a beggar. Mekl felt a little funny. The man in front of him was trying to redeem others like a savior. He didn't know is he even incapable of protecting himself. A mere 5-star fighting immortal, even if there is a dark underworld warrior, in his eyes, he is like an ant, and he can crush it to death at will. It seems that the angels that people call, it's just like that. No wonder Ma is so jealous of you. At this moment, Xiao Yan didn't want to waste time with Mekl. He also knew that the current devil's lair, Mekl, would definitely be destroyed, even if it sacrifices thousands, tens of thousands of innocent humans and sea beasts for this. So what? She is an angel and the maintainer of the order in the world. Even if her actions are inappropriate, who in the world would dare to judge and slander her? And as long as she uses the excuse of destroying evil and obliterating demons, no one in the world will question her. If you want to destroy this place, you have to step on my corpse first. Taking a deep breath, even with the protection of the dark power of the dark underworld, Xiao Yang smelled a wave that was infinitely close to death from the angel. Xiao Yang said dashingly after looking at the crowd that was bustling like a tide behind him. Boom. For a time, the dark men around Xiao Yang burst into a dazzling darkness, as if the most loyal servants were loyal to their companions. It is easy to cover the divine light as an angel. In an instant, the void in the lair, which was originally filled with angelic white light, was completely dispelled and covered by the soul of holy flame. The power of holy flame? Since you are courting death, then I will fulfill you. After you die, I will personally cut open your body and deprive you of the holy flame. Seeing the amber flame on Xiao Yang's body, Mekl's expression finally became happy. Although the long-planned plan was completely crushed by Ma's self-destruction this time, being able to conquer a holy flame is enough to alleviate the loss this time. While speaking, the holy wings behind Mekl were gently instigated, like a goddess who had fallen into the mortal world. Her body was pure white light feathers, inviolable and inviolable. On the footsteps, the white boots of the moon were in the void rippling with countless shimmering holy lights. The palm of his hand was gently raised, and he was casually facing Xiao Yang, as if the 9 gods were contemptuous. Seeing this, Xiao Yang's tyrannical pressure made Shenyang around him unconsciously protect him, took a deep breath, and looked at Mekl with awe. Xiao Yang. At this moment, Ji Xian below suddenly spoke. His voice was extremely sharp, and even the countless humans who moved towards the only exit position suddenly raised their eyes, watching the battle between gods and mortals in the sky. He stood there, unable to return to his senses for a long time. It seems that without any thought, he can predict the next step. Xiao Yang's body standing on the dark underworld will be completely pierced and obliterated by the angel in an instant. You still have a long way to go. Now let me do this kind of scene. The countless holy breaths around the angel turned into a beam of light the size of an arm, blasting towards Xiao Yang with a sound like a sleeping giant. A dragon-like voice slowly came from the Emperor Yang ring on Xiao Yang's finger. Well, master, please. Next time I meet her, I will get to know her with my own hands. Xiao Yang heard the words, his mind closed slightly, his soul indifferently faded into the soul realm, and his body control was also instantly released. In an instant, Xiao Yang's pupils became brilliant, and a majestic divine power that was like a supreme monarch, surpassing that of an angel, leaned out from his weak body like a torrential rain, and immediately raised his hand. The same is true with a casual blow. Countless cracks appeared on the holy beam of light that was enough to obliterate Xiao Yang, and in the blink of an eye, they turned into powder. At this moment, the battle situation has turned around. This Xiao Yang, who was originally like an ant who could be crushed by him at will, now his eyes were loud and loud. Whether it was his breath or strength, he seemed to be reborn and looked down on himself. For a time, the arrogance on Mekl's face a little bit of dissipated, replaced by a touch of surprise and puzzlement. Interesting. After a while, Mekl quietly landed on the ground of the lair, the white angel wings behind him flapped lightly, and Xiao Yang looked at each other. However, at this time, Mekl's tone was no longer as contemptuous and arrogant as before. It seemed that the breath that emerged from Xiao Yang's body made him truly express other emotions. This guy is so scary. At this moment, Ji Xian also let out a sigh of relief, and immediately without hesitation, he quickly took the seniors around him and other human beings for no reason, and went to the only exit. This exit could not be opened with their strength. The only chance Xiao Yang mentioned just now was that Xiao Yang would take action to open the opening, so they went there early and waited. Angel. It's really been a long time since I met. The amber flames all over Xiao Yang with beautiful pupils faded away, like a man who was not normal, said quietly. I am a member of the Holy See, the traveling angel Mekl who travels the world. You have colluded with evil people, and now you have an unidentified evil force in your body. I have the right to judge and obliterate you, including all the comrades in this lair." Hearing Xiao Yang's understated voice actually made Mekl feel a chill in his heart, so his tone suddenly became strange and roared. "Mekl, she is a roving angel. She was originally a gifted human being in the Holy See. After being given some special blessing by the red-clothed archbishop in the Holy See, she acquired angel wings and became an angel, cruising the world to punish her. Evil promotes good. For angels, once they make any major contribution, they can be crowned in the kingdom of angels, and this honor is the devil fruit." After becoming a traveling angel, Mekl found out that Ma was secretly conducting a demon experiment, so she deliberately tracked down the fifth Sinsima for decades. Now that the devil fruit experiment is successful, as long as she brings either the devil fruit or Ma back to the Holy See, then she will be crowned the kingdom of angels for this. Even if these innocent guys are obliterated, she cannot let others know her purpose. Anyway, as long as you get the devil fruit and step into the dream kingdom of angels, as for these insignificant humans who have been obliterated, it is their honor. The cornerstone of your own status. How can you not be grateful? Now that the devil fruit is lost, Mekl is naturally anxious, but at this time, the power in Xiao Yang's body is like a sea of stars, making him uneasy, so he can only quickly solve Xiao Yang and track the devil fruit. As for the kind of power that appears in Xiao Yang now, I saw it when Mekl became an angel. It is a power that only the longest members of the angel kingdom can possess. Like a real mansion, it can only make everyone look down. But in any case, that power is now only pinned on Xiao Yang in the form of his soul, and Mekl will never allow things beyond his control. All heresy and power beyond the limit must be strangled in the cradle. Don't talk nonsense. If it weren't for the protection of a few old guys in your angel kingdom, the mere angel kingdom would have been completely occupied by us. Looking at Mekl, who was constantly emerging and releasing his Holy Spirit in front of him, Xiao Yang but he laughed. Bold villain, slandering many gods in the kingdom of angels, death penalty. At this moment, after listening to Xiao Yang's unhindered words, Mekl finally became angry. The kingdom of angels is the supreme existence in the eyes of their angels. Once anyone slanders them, their nature, the power of angels that has already been integrated into the bone marrow, will riot uncontrollably and turn into a sharp blade, trying to obliterate the enemy. My strength is limited, I can only resist her blow, and the rest still needs you. Looking at Mekl in an angry state in front of him, the soul of Emperor Tuosha, attached to Xiao Yang's body, faced Xiao Yang's body consciousness. Said a word. "Well, Master, don't worry, I will definitely kill this guy with my own hands. However, Master, where are you now?" Xiao Yang, who was entrenched in his soul realm and was ready to take over control of his body, asked consciously. "When you reach 8 stars, or the subtle realm before your soul power enters the realm of the gods, you will know. But don't worry, I, including the old immortals of your Xiao clan, are still alive." To Tuosha Gudi's gentle voice it was transmitted to Xiao Yang's soul realm, but Xiao Yang's soul body was suddenly shocked. It seemed that there was a monstrous anger beneath this gentle voice. "Angel. Wing. In the name of my parade angel Mekl, pray for the wings of the angel to slay all evil." At this moment, Mekl suddenly transformed into a milky white armor, completely wrapping his entire body, like a real Valkyrie as mighty as a goddess. Then Mekl's expression suddenly changed. From the initial fear to the current relief, it seems that after this special ray of light, the survival of this space is only a matter of thought. In an instant, the high-pitched voice just fell, and Mekl's pure white lips wriggled slightly, and each wriggling echoed the heaven and earth with bursts of Sanskrit, like a divine light that purifies the world, and countless milky white incantations emerged from his lips for a while, as if one after another, ancient and holy words surrounded his body, and even a pair of exquisite wings on his back slowly stretched, flapped, and each beat, each incitement, would bring up white dust all over. The sky, in that white dust, contains a power that defies heaven and earth. A mere wandering angel, even with only 2 wings, can burst out such a terrifying attack. What a genius. Boy, give me a good look. The ancient Emperor Tuosha, who controlled Xiao Yang's body, first exclaimed, and then burst into the void. Wang buzzing. The voice just fell, and the dark sage seemed to be instructed by Xiao Yang, and quickly retreated towards the exit guarded by Ji Xian and others. Seeing this, it was obvious that he was going to help them. On the other hand, Xiao Yang on the palm of the hand, the ancient ruler of the eternal fire quietly appeared. At this time, the ancient ruler of Yihua Heng, because the ancient Emperor Tuosha controlled Xiao Yang's body, the breath infiltrated, and the spirit shook violently, as if welcoming the return of his true master. Although you have been seriously injured since the first battle between heaven and earth, but now you can also burst into 1/10,000th of the light of the past, and this is enough. At this moment, a sound of thunder that shattered the 9 heavens, Yang sounded in his mouth, and immediately, regardless of the brewing of Mechal's angel's wings, he suddenly grasped the ancient ruler of eternal fire, and his gorgeous eyes filled with countless flames threw it at the ancient ruler of eternal fire, and for a while, a brilliant double shot. There was a gleam in his eyes. The light just poured out and descended on the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng, and the dark body of the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng disappeared in an instant. A total of 11 flame patterns of different colors completely covered it, and in the center of its ruler, the brilliance of the holy pattern is also bursting out. Boom! A strong aura that surpassed the heavens and the earth quietly emerge. A crooked way can actually make ordinary weapons temporarily possess the power of divine weapons. Angel wings, kill all evils. Seeing Xiao Yang's strange behavior, Mechal sneered, and countless ancient texts all over his body were directly suspended on the wings behind his back. The wings instantly swelled and turned into 2 angel wings. The beam of light ran directly towards Xiao Yang, that kind of breath, that kind of destructive power, like a palace of death specially used to seal and kill demons. Exterminate. Shun Heng Kai. Punishment. Looking at the 2 angel wings projected like a ***** to test the real death sentence, Xiao Yang smiled indifferently, raised the transformed heavy ruler with one hand, and took it lightly. Swipe lightly. Boom. At that time, one was blessed by the radiance of the holy pattern, and it was vented out like a flood of beasts with up to 11 flame patterns of different colors. Boom. For a time, the entire lair was completely shattered, and countless space vortices emerged, swallowing them like evil spirits. At this moment, the sky and the earth turned pale, the energy of the heaven and the earth suddenly quieted down, and the attack of the 2 reached the peak. Like the contest between the 2 gods, it was heart-pounding. At the bottom of the devil's lair, which had been completely collapsed and broken, the dark underworld master and Ji Shen and others had already fled, most of them along the exit, but at this time, the place was in a mess. At the bottom of the devil's lair, the holy and bright aura of the angels and the aura of the holy flame of Xiao Yang, the power of the divine artifact, stunned the entire space, and countless ground cracked like the end of the day. The power of resistance was completely slain by Yu Bo, who was directly attacked by the 2, and both body and spirit were destroyed. In the space, the wings of the 2 angels merged into one, turning into a golden light, with a touch of unreasonable divine power like the laws of heaven and earth, and suddenly came into contact with the flame of the holy ruler bursting out by Xiao Yang. Boom! The harsh sound and the energy ripples produced by the explosion appeared like a tragic scene of world destruction. At the same time, the golden beam of light and the flame of the flame quietly opposed each other, and there was no sign of winning or losing. Bang bang bang! As the energy ripples spread by the 2 attacks swept across, in the devil's lair, some human beings, sin guards, and other humans left behind, countless screams were not released, and they were completely destroyed under the energy ripples. There is a special enchantment in the devil's lair, which is enough to isolate most of the strong human beings from the exploration, and can also shelter the sea beasts, so that the devil's lair is not affected by the outside world, but at this moment, the energy of the 2 is completely shattered. The desolate and tragic energy tide is like the wrath of the gods. In the core of this devil's sea, a huge vortex of more than 1,000 feet swayed. The vortex is like a black hole, greedily swallowing countless creatures and sea areas. With a sound, the attack at the bottom continued. I saw the flame god's light beating lightly, and a wisp of power to destroy all things emerged, completely smashing the golden holy light. A mouthful of blood suddenly overflowed from the corner of Mechal's mouth, looking at the defeated self with disbelief, and the power of the Kaiman seemed to turn into nothingness after defeating his attack. You are a dignified traveling angel, and you actually lost. Go. At this moment, the entire devil's lair was completely submerged by a huge turbulent seawater, the space collapsed, and the seawater covered it. The secret base of this sin was also completely disintegrated at this moment. Hearing the last words of the ancient emperor to Orshi, Xiao Yang took over his body, exerting his vindictive energy to the limit, and with the explosive technique, he quickly escaped from here. The blow just now had consumed all the power of the ancient emperor Tuorsha, but Xiao Yang also knew that the ancient ruler of the eternal fire could evolve, its limit, the future, an artifact. However, Xiao Yang now has no time to think so much. The attack just now was indeed the victory of the ancient emperor Tuorsha, but unfortunately it did not cause much damage to Mechal. Once Mechal is killing, I am afraid Xiao Yang will really be killed, forced into a corner. At this time, What was almost imprinted in the deepest part of Xiao's body trembled quietly. That is the power of thunder, the grey thunder that surpasses heaven and earth. Boom! What a terrifying scene. Is this really something that a 5-star fighting immortal can display? Ji Xian and the others, who were constantly fleeing the sea and heading towards Yuan city with the help of the dark underworld, looked at the thousands of jong cracks in the distant sea. Dizziness struck, but after a brief hesitation, Ji Xuan's eye speeded up, and the angel shot. Xiao Yang was definitely not an opponent. At this time he had to go back to rescue soldiers. Want to go? You seem to have something interesting in your body. I use my traveling angel and send you to follow me back to the Holy See for investigation. If you don't obey the order, I have the right to obliterate you here. I think, at this time, you don't have that weird power anymore. At this moment, Mekl, who was undulating violently, still maintained a high-pitched voice, facing an illusory body that had been standing quietly above the sea. Said. No one answered Mekl. The shadow that Mekl was watching was still quiet. I was teased. Where are you running? Mekl felt something was wrong, and suddenly approached the past, only to find that this body was just an ordinary human being, but Xiao Yang had stored a trace of the original energy to confuse the public. Regardless of this sea area, the casualties caused by the battle in the Devil's Lair and the vortex of the sea area that continued to spread, relying on the angel's wings, the speed skyrocketed, turning into a stream of light, chasing and killing Xiao Yang. At this moment, in the entire sea area, because of the disappearance of the Devil's Lair, countless sea beasts returned to normal, but their breath was weak and unable to struggle. There were no bones left, and a harsh roar, screams and desolation filled the entire sea area. Above the sea area, the black hole vortex is still going on. Every time it advances, the sea surface of thousands of meters above the sea area reaches the bottom, and it is swallowed up by it, and it is still growing. Would be a real catastrophe. Damn, that angel. Xiao Yang ran away desperately, but he smelled the angel chasing after him, and Zadu raised his head and looked behind him. A vortex like a black hole is rapidly attacking. In just a few minutes, the entire sea area has been swallowed up by 1/10 of it. If this continues, the power of the black hole is expanding, and I am afraid it will evolve into a real hell. No, it can't go on like this. This black hole vortex is caused by the power of the ruler and the wings of the angel. The power of the two has surpassed the basic 8-star fighting immortals. A crisis of eternity. Let's go back. It seemed that a very important decision had been made. Xiao Yang took a deep breath, the shadows of his soul appeared all over his body, and Sheng Yang added himself. Even if this thing started because of me, I absolutely can't let it go, because when I go forward, it is Yuan city. Xiao Yang believes that he is not a person with a mind in the world, but Xiao Yang still understands the principle of one person doing things and one person being responsible. If it is not stopped in time, I am afraid that the black hole vortex will obliterate and swallow this place. Are you throwing yourself into the net? From a distance, Mekl, who watched Xiao Yang run back, suddenly laughed. The black hole vortex has been lifted, and you can go back to the Holy See. Xiao Yang seemed to be compromising with Mekl. Remove the black hole vortex. You are wrong. The region, human beings, and even sea beasts here are not pure because of Ma, so they can only be destroyed. And you have to remember that everything here is caused by your disobedience to the angels. It's all because of you. Mekl smiled, then raised his pure white palm and pointed at Xiao Yang lightly. With a loud voice, the pure white light turned into a tyrannical force that knocked Xiao Yang back several hundred meters, and the bones on his body made a crisp sound. Fall here. If that's the case, let's die together. Xiao Yang reluctantly supported the heavy-colored body in his body, and smiled. His smile seemed ferocious and crazy. While speaking, the core of the battle in his body shook violently. Holy flame fire, soul realm, do core, do soul and many other means, swelled up in an instant. Pretty good little guy, no wonder he is thought about by my inheritor day and night. Just as Xiao Yang was about to give his all, a rare grey thunder in Xiao Yang's body slowly burst out with divine power, sending Xiao Yang away. Suppressed, a light-hearted laughter emerged. Reincarnation. Samsara? At this moment, looking at the woman in front of her who was surrounded by grey thunder and couldn't see her face at all, for the first time, Mekl had an expression of powerless and trying to worship. Lei. Thunder Master? Xiao Yang was also dumbfounded by this sudden scene, but he also knew that when he helped Du Qifei, because of the Thunder Master, because of the Thunder Emperor's cannon, now this scene, not too weird. With me here today, you can't kill him. The black hole vortex was lifted by the wise, otherwise. The grey thunder was like a god's mansion, floating on the turbulent surface of the sea, and the Thunder Master clone also smiled quietly. Never mind. With a sound, the black hole vortex was gently smoothed out by Mekl. I have a good relationship with some of the powerhouses in the Holy See, and I will visit in person in the future. Lord Lei said softly. Mekl cast a vicious glance at Xiao Yang. I hope you can have such good luck next time. I'll give you this as well. Next time we meet, I will tear off your angel's skin and take a look at your rotten soul. Xiao Yang said. Mekl sneered, tearing apart the space and disappearing here, apparently to track down the whereabouts of the devil fruit. At this time, as the grey thunderbolt in Xiao Yang's body slowly appeared like a god's mansion awakened from ancient times, it instantly formed a clone of the Thunder Master on the sea area, and directly shook the parade angel Mekl back. The sea area here is now calm, only the Thunder Lord clone composed of Xiao Yang and Grey Thunder who was seriously injured appeared here. Starter. Senior, thank you. Xiao Yang supported the severely injured body and respectfully said to the figure in front of him. This guy was covered in thunder and could not see the specific outline, but Xiao Yang knew that this guy was part of the Thunder Lord's power. And for the traveling angel, Xiao Yang originally planned to fight to the death, but he was unexpectedly saved by the Thunder Lord. You don't need to thank me. If you want to thank me, thank my stupid apprentice. But there is one thing you have to remember. You are a descendant of the Xiao family. In the future, my body will be successfully reincarnated, and we may be enemies. Just do it yourself. A light hum, as if carrying some resentment, quietly dissipated here along with the grey thunder. Alas, it's all the fault of love words. Xiao Yang shook his head helplessly, and immediately swam towards Yuan city. He had something to do with the Thunder Lord and some of their Xiao clan bigwigs. This is something Xiao Yang already knew. So for Lei Master's intimidation, he can only shake his head. On the other side, when such a terrifying scene happened here in Xiao Yang, other things happened in Yuan city. Sir City Lord, the big thing is bad. Steward Tian just rushed into the sea and fled towards the royal family of Tianqing continent with an evil person. At this time, there are enough figures to prove that the biting incident is inextricably linked to Butler Tian, and the source of all that points to the depths of the Devil's Sea. In the Devil's Sea now, it seems that there are strong men fighting, and a black hole vortex that is enough to tear everything is coming towards us. Once it is approached, with our current strength, I am afraid that only all will fall. At this time, in front of the City Lord's mansion, one after another information came to the ground from the digital scouts. Sir, Lord Ji Shen has brought several high-ranking members of the royal family and many missing humans to the ferry. They look nervous. It seems that there is some important news. After a while, in the silent hall, a guard broke through the door and said hurriedly, "Come on." At this moment, many high-level officials headed by the City Lord Wu Kuan, wriggled and walked towards the ferry. Master Ji Shen. After a while, everyone arrived at the ferry, and the City Lord Wu Kuan's face was gloomy. He took the lead and supported Ji Shen, but his pupils shook violently when he looked at the majestic dark figure standing above the sea. Ji Shen is a popular person beside the princess, and his identity and strength are prominent, and he is respected by countless strong people. Lord City Lord, it's too late to explain. How many troops are still in the city? Now we must go to save people immediately. Ji Shen looked at the black hole whirlpool in the distance, extremely solemn. That's a person? After Ji Shen finished speaking, the high-level officials of the dry watery city looked at the black hole whirlpool in the distance, where there was an angel-like supreme human being, and beside it, there was an inconspicuous human being. On the human body, blood dripped, like a dying person. But the aura that was not afraid of death surprised everyone. That kind of breath is like seeing death as home. Even if it is lost, it will still fight until the last moment. He is the biggest hero who saved us. Without him, I'm afraid we would all have to die on the sea. And he has an antidote for the biting incident. Please save him. At this moment, among the royal family behind Ji Shen who was closely protected by him, an old man spoke slowly. Lin Xiu, 7-star fighting immortal, one of the few strategic personnel under the princess, came to solve the strange incident in Yuan city, but was arrested by Ma and used it as a sacrifice. He spoke softly. My lords, please go down to rest first, and leave the rest to us. Wu Kuan's expression changed and he said solemnly, I'll go with you. Ji Shen strongly supported. Yep. Shenwei, follow my city master's order and go to the villa to invite the ancestors out. Suddenly, on Wu Kuan's palm, a token with a huge water character appeared, and immediately faced a tall man behind him. Throw away. But my lord. The ancestor said, don't disturb him unless it is absolutely necessary. The Xianwei man heard the words and said in surprise, "Go away." Wu Kuan roared angrily, and Xianwei quickly left here. The ancestor of the hidden family of the water system? It is said that he is also a 7-star fighting immortal. With him, I'm afraid it can ease the war situation a little. For a time, many strong men gathered and rushed towards the sea. Many powerhouses took the ferry and slowly went towards the black hole whirlpool in the depths of the sea. They knew that this time they went to 9 deaths, but for the sake of their families, wives, and children behind them, they had no choice. If they did not stand at the forefront, they would solve the black hole whirlpool. The losses will be even more severe. And just as everyone was panicking towards the black hole vortex, another scene happened. With a sound, the angel's wings flickered behind him, and countless gods were like scorching flames swirling towards the black hole, and the tyrannical black hole vortex was easily disintegrated. Then the angel looked down and said something to the tiny human in front of him, tearing apart the void and disappearing here. Silence. Seeing this scene appear in their pupils, the entire sea area was silent. I thought that this time there were 10 deaths and no life, but who would have thought that this little human actually shocked the angel? No matter what the reason was, he shook the angel away, and also forced the angel to erase the black hole vortex. Everyone saw it with their own eyes. He is the hero of Yuan city. Ancestor, this. At the same moment, looking at the guy above the sea, Wu Kuan said to an elderly man beside him. To be able to shock the wandering angels back, this is something this old man has never seen before. Go pick him up. He does have an antidote on him, and at the same time, he is listed as a hero of our Yuan city. The majestic voice appeared in everyone's heart like an unquestionable order. Yes. A loud and excited voice sounded. Cough, cough, is it the limit? Xiao Yang floated in front of him, and with the fall of the devil's lair, the forbidden air force in the sea was disintegrated, but at this time Xiao Yang's breath was extremely sluggish and he looked like he was dying. Boom boom boom. Mr. Xiao Yang. Just when Xiao Yang was struggling, voices of relief poured into Xiao Yang's line of sight, accompanied by the magnificent body of the dark underworld. It's okay, I just passed out temporarily. Go back. After carefully examining Xiao Yang's body, the group immediately returned to Yuan city in a mighty way, and with the antidote given by Xiao Yang's dark underworld priest and Ji Shen's information, Xiao Yang's identity was respected by countless people in Yuan city for a while. 9 deaths and a lifetime to break into the magic cave, fighting the angels alone to fight for time. He could have retreated but was a tough enemy, the #1 person in all ages. This video will end here.